fellow loves. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about life, love, apparently, decisions, feelings, laws of attraction, spirituality, and just about everything in between at this point. And I was getting ready for bed, and I had a little bit of a tug at my energy to dive into this feeling that there is a divine masculine coming your way. And before I start sharing, because I have tons of notes, tons of things to share on this, that it felt really important to speak to you directly about some of the things that you have been experiencing. So I really got the sense that you are someone who's gone through like more than your fair share of difficulties in life. And I have a feeling that some of you may feel a little bit of resistance to having this type of divine masculine, because let me tell you, there are a lot of really great things here that I will share very, very shortly, but that if this divine masculine walks into your life, I do think there's going to be a moment or two that you feel a bit resistant, and not that you are going to be opposed to this divine masculine, but actually that you're just going to be so unaccustomed to it's giving like all of the best things of your exes, and just like almost like I'm literally hearing the phrase like too good to be walking this earth. I don't know if this phrase is coming through too because of the kind of reader that I was growing up, or maybe you were a reader too, or this is just the best way to describe him, but like we're talking cliche like love story type of stuff where, you know, the girl looks up and like sees what is like essentially her ideal guy walk in, right? And you can use these terms interchangeably. I do believe that I'm speaking to the divine feminines in the collective, and referencing divine masculines. It most likely will be a masculine presenting person, but this is as much information as I have, so what's going to resonate for you is what is meant for you to hear, so definitely use your intuition. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time before we jump in, because there's so much to share. I want to make sure that I have enough time. I wanted to first make sure that I acknowledge the position that you're in and this transition that you're going through. So, I mean, I don't need to rehash your history. Like, you already know that you've been through quite a lot, and a lot of your relationships, even if they've not been the worst, have not been the best, and have not necessarily left you in a position where you're super confident, right? I think a lot of you do feel quite a bit of faith in that there's still some type of, I'm hearing the words like fairy tale romance. That's not often what I say, so that might be a phrase that resonates a bit more with you. And experiencing that, or like coming across this, may feel, I'm hearing the word jarring. And the image that's coming in for me is like kind of like cold plunge. Granted, I haven't done one, but almost as if because you have not experienced like this large of a dose of this type of energy before, that at first it will feel quite jarring, and not even in a negative way, like, which maybe a cold plunge may be negative, so it depends on the person here. For some of you, you might actually quite enjoy that, but just like almost just like this onslaught of energy, and like I am like imagining, like I'm like seeing him as if I'm like experiencing this like kind of first person, but kind of third person, where I can like feel what you're feeling, and you're feeling this like just kind of like, I guess that's what like the word I'm hearing is dumbfounded, which is not a word that I use. Like just like kind of baffled by like the caliber of divine masculine this is that you are like having a hard time processing this. And for some of you, this may have already happened, but I have a feeling actually that this has not happened for the majority of you yet. I do think this reading, so this may be confirmation if this divine masculine's already walked into your life. But as I was doing this reading, I was aware that this divine masculine has not come into your life yet, but will very soon. So to get you to this point, you have like recently, I'm hearing 1 to 3. There's something about the last 1 to 3 years that seem to be significant in like your growth, your evolution, but it seems to be expedited in the last 1 to 3 months, potentially 1 to 3 weeks actually, like depending on what part of this like expedited that we are referencing. And let's do a quick time check. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, probably should shift gears here. Okay, if I end up having too much to share, I'll just make another video, but so there's been a major shift for you recently, and it seems like you've evolved quite a bit. And if you have resonated with some of the videos I've made recently, this like supercharged evolution recently has been because you are being prepared for your higher purpose. And that we will get into more at another time. But there is, for some of you, this divine masculine actually is going to play an integral role in your higher purpose. And for quite a few of you, I'm actually getting that it'll be because he's going to be a support, and not just a generic support, but he's going to be, I'm hearing steadfast, a cheerleader. I'm hearing like picking up the scattered pieces, because if he's like helping catch all the things like as you're moving through them, if that makes any sense. And there is a smaller portion of you that I do think, because partnership has come around quite a bit in here, so there is a chance that this is not necessarily romantic. I did have love come up like quite a few times throughout here, so I do think most of you it is romantic. But even if it is still romantic, I did also have the term partner come up, and it may be that you use the term partner for relationships. I've recently acquired that in the last like 2 years, but I've also been feeling it more specifically in this partnership in your higher purpose. So I don't know, it may depend on what your higher purpose is. Obviously, like it, you know, at this time you may not even fully know, but I don't know like what your individual higher purpose is. So if you are I'm hearing creating something or building something, and it seems to be, I don't think it's art. You may be creating art, but the part that this divine masculine is serving in your higher purpose is these aspects of either creation of something. I may get more clarity on that as we go through the reading, but it's something that you would create that's not necessarily art. So I'm hearing like curriculum, So I don't know if some of you are maybe in the teaching world or are, I'm hearing blueprint. So maybe like something about your relationship is a blueprint, or something about the thing that you're going to be doing in your higher purpose is going to be a blueprint for other people. And I'm also hearing building. So you may be building some type of community. Yeah, I'm hearing community, or maybe literally, I'm hearing a structure, or even, it's not quite like company. I don't have a word for it, but it's kind of like similar to a company. So if there's some type of like business that you're like meant to build, they may be playing an integral part of that, and may even actually quite literally be a partner in that. But that's actually, I mean, that's not what I was doing this reading on today. So I don't want to get too far into that. I do want to circle back to that. So, I mean, we're gonna get there. But today, okay, like this Emperor card, stable, disciplined, dependable, leader. And one of the things that was like specific clarity on this leader is like he has so much security and steadfastness in like his softness, his feelings, his faith, like his spirituality, his direction in life. And not because he's being stubborn about it, just that he knows right and wrong, not in the ways that the world likes to use, right? Like, let's use the terms aligned. He knows what is aligned and what is misaligned, and he is an aligned masculine. So like he already is naturally drawing in the things that are vibrating at that aligned frequency, which is you, which is so cool, because it's like, I mean, I love that it's like already an affirmation of what you're doing, that you're so aligned, that you're drawing in this divine masculine. And I love like this idea of like, it just feels magnetic, like that you're both vibrating at a frequency that naturally draws you each other in. I'm a newly spiritual person, okay? I've really not been very spiritual in my life, and anything I've known about spirituality was in organized religion, extreme organized religion. And so I don't, you know, a lot of these things are very new to me here. And this idea of like frequencies being magnetic is like such an interesting concept, but there's something about it that feels really true in inside of me. So I'm not gonna argue. But what's crazy is like the way that this energy feels magnetic between you and this divine masculine is that it is essentially inevitable that you two are going to connect. And I mean, what's interesting that came up not too long after this was that like there's going to be like, life is still a lot of choices. So there may be this specific reading may be describing multiple divine masculines that are coming into your life, because the next thing that came up in this reading was that you're going to have a lot of choices. I mean, use your intuition. That is always the encouragement in general, but especially in these cases, like your partner is the person that like really shapes your life. I mean, they've done studies, can like shape how much income you make and the promotions that you get and all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, they shape your, you know, like they either help build or like deteriorate your peace, your security, your safety, your well-being, your authenticity, your spirituality. So much of this, right? Like, I mean, I don't need to reiterate this to you. You know that this is an important decision. So there's just like extra encouragement here to use your intuition, because you're going to have a lot of options, and they're actually not going to look too dissimilar if you're not paying attention. And that might sound a little intimidating at first, right? But there's not a ton of concern when you have security in being in your aligned state, like in your higher self, because you already know it's naturally gonna weed people out. So in this case, the encouragement is to like move through things relatively slowly, especially if you're somebody who moves pretty quickly into relationships. To like move pretty slowly to allow the natural weeding out process that happens from you vibrating at a higher frequency, right? Like the image I'm getting is like some kind of vibrating plate that has like sand on it, and literally just by that, just existing in this vibration is going to have a lot of these things weeded out. So you don't need to worry too much about this. Okay, so another thing that I picked up on was that like the security of this divine masculine, especially like in his like healed femininity, in his like being in touch with his feelings, like he's going to like, I don't know if I already said this, like he's a very tender divine masculine, that like he is, I mean, I don't know if this is like figuratively or even quite literally, I got like the phrase that he will be holding you and those around him like in your like rawness, in your softness, in your sensitivity, in your spirituality. That's not even something that I wrote down, but that just came through, was like this confidence that because you are such a spiritually powerful person, like he will be able to support you in that and wholeheartedly believe like in your direction, in your revelation, in your purpose, but also that he's going to be secure enough in himself that he is able to, not in the way where there's like an imbalance between feminine and masculine, right? Like there's a lot of strength that is meant to be held by the masculine to allow the feminine to be in her softness. So not imbalancing that, but like his secure masculinity will allow you to lead in the ways that you're going to in your higher purpose, because he not only like respects that, but he believes it, because he has the same like spiritual strength as, not the same spiritual strength, but like an awareness of it. Like it seems like there's like an intimate familiarity of this, that like, I don't know if it's just because he's also like spiritual himself, or if it's like quite literally his higher purpose is so aligned with yours that he's intimately familiar with like what is aligned for that higher purpose. I mean that feels like pretty stinking true. So I think that might be the case for a lot of you. Okay, how are we doing on time? 18 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much. Okay, so I mean, we did kind of touch on this, that like, I mean, not only is he going to protect you, he's also going to be like protect you in general, protect you as you're building this higher purpose or creating whatever it is, but he's also going to help you in this. I don't think necessarily in a way where he's leading you, and I don't know if you're necessarily leading him either. I think there's like quite a good amount of balance there, and there may be a little bit of the scales tipping in your direction of you being a bit more of the leader in this higher purpose. I think because it might be, I'm hearing it actually is likely like tied to your femininity, that there's like extra importance of you being in your femininity, which, you know, requires that safety to be in that softness. Like that is actually going to be a part of whatever your higher purpose is, or is just going to be like a foundation for it, or that you need to be in that femininity. So I'm not really sure. That's as much as I got there. Yeah, there's a a couple reminders of like how he's going to be so safe and secure that you're going to be able to fully relax into your softness and into your beauty, and not just like in a way of like typical like worldly beauty, but like this. I'm hearing that you'll be able to hear my dog drinking water. Drink water. That's your sign to drink water. I should drink some water. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh my gosh, what were the beauty okay. This kind of beauty where, because you are able to like completely relax and trust in this masculinity to provide for you, support you, protect you, lead you where you need to be led, cheer you on in the things that you are accomplishing. Like you're going to be able to so fully relax that you are going to like explore parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Like it's like you're going to be uncovering new layers of beauty within yourself because you are able to so fully explore yourself. And I'm also hearing like more fully explore your femininity. I feel like there was another thought on that, but oh yeah, that like this life that you're going to have with this masculine, I think some of because you can relax into it, but just something about the life that you're building, it's going to make life feel more beautiful. Like the way that you're going to be, I'm hearing the word nurtured, so fully nurtured by this partnership. You are just going to naturally view life through more of a lens of things. You're going to see more of the beauty in life, and there's going to be a lot more beauty. There was multiple times that there was bounty, prosperity, like coming through in here. Like it's meant to be in an abundant partnership. Oh my gosh, yeah, like literally like your cup is so full, it's pouring over. You're also being watched over. We have that. I had that come through a couple times as well. Oh, this was interesting. Okay, so circling back really quick. I know this is technically jumping around a little bit, but I got a little carried away earlier. Oh my gosh, there's so much more. Okay, so the divine masculine being the leader when he needs to be, because there's times where you are meant to be the leader within your femininity, and he's meant to be the leader within his masculinity. And I don't know if this is literal. I'm kind of, for your sake and my sake, hoping this is not literal. But the phrase that came through, okay, where did I write this down? He will lead you and protect you through the fires of life, allowing you to remain in your softness and your divine femininity. Dude. That's like ultimate protection right there. That's awesome. I mean, can you explain protection in any other way? Walking through fire and allowing you to like remain soft and feminine. Heck yeah, I'm so here for it. Oh my gosh. Okay, where are we at? Let's see. Got about 25 minutes. Let's see if there's anything else that I feel like really needs to be shared in this video. I mean, there's a few more things just about the kind of person that this divine masculine is, which I think is like, I mean, it's already fun to like think about, but it's also nice to know because then it's easier to recognize him when he does come into your life if he's not in your life already. But this is someone who works hard and takes action. I'm not sure if they're an overthinker, so this was an interesting thought. So for some of you, if this divine masculine is an overthinker, he still is somebody who like has a like healthy relationship with himself and trust in himself and his decision making, that he's still able to make decisions. Very knowledgeable divine masculine, but not in the way where he's like causing distrust in his own faith. And faith, let's pause on this really quick. Faith doesn't have to mean religious. And when I say spiritual, it's just like referencing that you are, when you're in like you're grounded. Sorry, these are my pajamas. They're more revealing than I thought they were. Like the spirituality that I'm referencing is like, I'm saying this because we all interpret spirituality differently. So I want to make sure that this part is clear to whoever it speaks to, because we all use different terms. So the spirituality is like when you're aligned with your higher self. It's when you're grounded, you are loving, you're curious, calm, and I want to say something along these lines of like knowing, like there's like clarity, and this like spirituality or having faith is like being able to know what is aligned and what's not. And there's so many ways that you can get that. I mean, people call it so many things. I think this is what people use the term source for, is like it could be higher power or God or goddess or multiple gods or astrology or the trees. The trees have become a like religious. I'm pointing out the window. Not that you can see, because there's trees out there. Like they have been a spirit guide for me in my life, because they have been answers to, I didn't realize there were prayers. Prayers can be so informal. It could just be you manifesting. Yeah, you manifesting can be a prayer, right? You just saying, I want this in my life, or I need this in my life, or I'm grateful for this in my life. But like, I mean, they led me to things that I manifested or I prayed for, right? Whatever term you want to use, it's all the same thing. Where was it going with this? Oh yeah, so it's just like referencing that like this divine masculine is going to be in touch with that, whatever that looks like for him. And that can even be just something within yourself. Some people just reference that as your higher self, that you like know what is aligned for you in your higher purpose in life. It's gonna be in a way that aligns for you and like within your partnership. Okay, let's see, 28. All right, so it's probably a good time to wrap up. I want to see if there's anything else that kind of jumps out here that needs to be shared. Especially if you have done a lot of like healing and emotional growth in your life, which I'm sure you have. If you've been through a lot, this is kind of a part of it, right? The unfortunate byproduct, or fortunate, depends how you look at it. That's a topic for a different day. But something that really stuck out to me was like this emphasis on vulnerability. And I actually got like a poet. So you may be a poet. I'm a poet. This divine masculine may be a poet, or somebody who really has a way with words, or gives a lot of affirmations, like verbal affirmations. But like really what had stuck out about this was just this like vulnerability. And I think it's important to emphasize here, because a lot of us are raised in cultures where like men don't cry, men don't show feelings, rub some dirt on it, etc. Fill in the blank, all this, right? That like that this I just got some chills. This is confirmation, guys, that like this, I mean, the phrase I heard was the guiding star or the North Star of this partnership is this vulnerability that it is almost like a litmus test, which means, I mean, you need to be relatively healed in yourself to also have vulnerability and to be able to show up in vulnerability, right? Remember, we've been through some relationships that have not all worked out, okay? That's why we're here and looking for partnership. Like, that you also need to show up in your vulnerability to like cultivate a vulnerability in this relationship. But this guiding star, this was the point of what I was trying to say. This like North Star is this vulnerability, that this divine masculinity is going to be able to show such vulnerability that it is going to feel like confirmation that they are the divine masculine that was being sent to you. Remember, we have multiple choices though, okay? That doesn't mean that they are the one. There's lots of the ones in this life, okay? There's so many the ones, but that's also a topic for a different day. So this vulnerability, and I do feel like this is a little bit important to at least spend the next 30 to 60 seconds, because I do try not to go more than like a half hour for my videos. How can we recognize this vulnerability? There's a difference between transparency and vulnerability. Transparency can be, I've, experienced abuse, neglect, child of divorce, moving, right? Okay, yeah, I can be transparent about my life. But what is being vulnerable is being, I am experiencing grief at this time as I'm letting go of relationships that no longer are aligned for me. And that's difficult. And I spent a decent portion of time crying on Saturday. Well, actually, you saw that. If you're following my channel, then you saw it. Anyway, so like these like real time, we're not doing trauma bonding though, okay? We're not doing it in the way where you are this divine masculine's therapist, which I do think if you're relatively healed, you're already gonna know this. The point of this is a reminder. A lot of these videos are just as, if they serve as a reminder or like an additional confirmation of things that you already know. So I know really the things I'm saying you probably already know, but this is just a good refresher for us that like, not only is this divine masculine be vulnerable in what he experiences in his life, but he's also going to be so vulnerable in the way that he feels about you. And you're going to know that. Like, you're going to know so quickly that there's so much vulnerability to be had here. And I'm hearing love bombing, not in the love bombing way, okay? Which is part of the slowness. The love bombing is like such a short period of time. I'm hearing like a month. I don't actually know if that's true. Like in the psychology world, okay? But like, you just gotta give it like 4 to 6 weeks, I think it's like 3 months at most that somebody can like keep a mask on. So you just move through things slowly. Spend lots of time getting to know this individual. We got all the time in the world, guys. We got all the time in the world. They'll weed themselves out, I mean, this is not the term I want to use. I'm pushing up my sleeves. This is important. I don't want to use the term high value ticket item, but that is the term that came through in my brain. So maybe that's the term that you use. High ticket value item. You are a Ferrari. You are a, I don't know, name something that is super valuable to you, right? That like, people don't just give out Ferraris, right? Like, not that I'm saying you have to just like withhold yourself, like, I mean, use your discernment in like what is appropriate, and like meditate on this, pray on this, whatever it is that you do that helps you make decisions. Like, definitely follow that like intuition. But like, this slowness is a part of a value thing, and I do think you're gonna know this. I think with how much transformation you've had in whatever the 1 to 3 is, 1 to 3 weeks, 1 to 3 months, 1 to 3 years, whatever resonated with you, I do think that I do think that you are going to feel high value enough that you're not going to want to just, you know, rush into anything, because you're going to recognize, like, I mean, a lot of what came up in here too was this like reference of like royalty, and I heard we ain't doing the princess treatment. It is the queen treatment, and not because like it's somebody who's like, you know, overextending to like try to win us over, but like respects and values you so much that they recognize this is the way that you deserve to be treated. And you're gonna know it. You're gonna know it. You're gonna feel it. And there's, I mean, the thing that's sticking out right here, stability, steadiness. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it over the next, 1 to 3 months with this divine masculine. Whenever this divine masculine walks in your life, over the first couple months, you're gonna see that that steadiness, that like time and time again, like he wants to provide that safety to you, and he wants to like show his devotion, his loyalty, his reliability, his stability, his balance. He is going to show up and show you those things. So let him love you. I'm lecturing you. This is the most unhinged reading I've done so far. Let him freaking take care of you. Let him love you. Let him pamper you. Let him protect you. Let him provide for you. Let him cheer you on. Let him show you. Let him show you. Let him show you this steadiness, this steadfastness, this loyalty, this devotion, this alignment. We live in alignment. You hear that? Mic drop. That is everything I need to say. I don't need to make videos anymore. Live in alignment. Yeah, if it was that easy. Anyway, this seems like a good place to wrap up. Oh, we went a little bit over time. So if you're still here, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm sure you loved it as much as I did, because I thought it was a blast. So if you made it this far into the video, I would love to know. Can you drop like a cheese emoji in the comments or something? Tell me what resonated. Tell me what you're excited about. And tell me if you've already met this divine masculine. One of the things that did come up in here was, celebrations and reunion. There's a chance that this divine masculine could be somebody that you already know, that you might be like reconnecting with. It could also just mean that reunion is, loved ones being there to celebrate this partnership with you. So it could mean a lot of things. But anyway, so if this divine masculine's already in your life, I'd love to hear about it too. And if they're not, then come back here and let me know how it goes. Let me hear your meet cute. Is that what they call it? Anyway, okay. All right. I love you all so much. Oh, I just love you all so much. I hope that you can feel that. Like as much as I can, I'm shooting the love energy at you through the phone. As much as you can feel that from here, I'm sending you the biggest hug, and you can reject it if you don't want it. And let me know what you guys need. If you need love, support, if you need more clarity on anything that like I have, prayed on here, let me know. I'm happy to channel some more messages for you guys. All right, take care of y'all out here while you're in this crazy world, and live aligned.